Hey guys, how's it going? Here we are for another mentoring session. Let me just get this room set up for Andrea real quick, and then we'll get started. All right, looks like it's good to go for the most part. Let me get this link out real quick to Andrea. There we go. All right, looks like we're good to go. Let's see US 30 right here. See if there's any entries here for the DAX. There's no entries here. See if we see anything coming up here. Let me pull up the US 30. Nothing here either. Like 17 pips, I'm really about to move. Let's see if there's anything else here. Nothing there. Hey, Andrea, can you hear me? Just like this one.
Hey, Shawn.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just feel like we haven't talked in a while.
I know it's been so long.
Yeah, how's everything been? Been pretty good?
Pretty good, pretty good. I can't complain. Complaining ain't gonna do nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly right. No, I agree with you 100%.
Yes, but I mean everything's been going pretty good.
That's good to hear.
Just trying to master this sniper
Oh yeah, no,
industry.
definitely. Yeah, this has been like it's been a hit for everyone. I don't know if you've been applying it yourself, but everyone's been killing it. Like they've been doing better than me, and it's just shocking.
Really. So I tried it in the beginning. I was jumping on like in the morning time with you guys,
Yeah.
and I didn't do too good at first.
Okay. Do you know which one you took? Because we can probably look at them to see, or if, unless you just were applying them wrong.
Well, I
Yeah.
actually know what my problem is.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm struggling with drawing these zones
Okay, okay.
from off the I know you do it on a 4 hour first. Like I know the whole step, you gotta make sure that is rejecting off of the zone and the pivot, but I'm struggling with the zones. Like my screen never looks like yours.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so we can do that from scratch. Is there like a pair that you like to trade? Because I can like help you mark it up just to show you what I do from there.
Um, I've been doing US 30,
Okay.
SPX 500, and my pair is AU.
Okay, perfect. So we can start with US 30 first. So when you're scalping, are you using the 10 minute or are you using a different time frame?
I'm using the 10 minute.
Okay, perfect. So if you're going to be using the snipe strategy, you don't have to go like on the 4 hour to draw the zones. You'll just do all of them on the 10 minute. So depending on what you're scalping on, that's the time frame that you'll be focusing on. You don't have to go anything higher or anything lower because you're just going to be using the same time frame that you're trading on.
Okay, so when you do yours, like in the mornings when we be on the YouTube live,
Yeah.
you mark yours from the 10 minute and not the 4 hour.
That's correct. Yeah. The 4 hour is only for the bigger picture. So if I'm doing like a bigger analysis, like for how it's going to move for the entire day, then I'll use the 4 hour. But if I'm just scalping and using the snipe strategy, then I'm only going to use the specific time frame that I'm trading on. So if I'm trading on the 10 minute, I'm only using the 10 minute zones. If I'm trading on the 30 minute, I'm only using the 30 minute zones. So that I think that might have been one of the confusing things for you, and that's probably what
Okay.
caused some confusion for you when you marked
Okay,
it
yeah,
down.
because I was only strictly doing the zones on the 4 hour.
Oh gosh, okay. So that might have been the issue there because you were probably looking at the zones that are too far off or that were just, not lining up with what you were looking for.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's see. Can I like show you and share my screen and
Yeah, yeah,
show you?
definitely.
Because what I need to learn how to do is, you know how when you draw your zones, they go from all the way far left to far right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mine's not doing that. And so
Oh
then
gosh.
I have to go in, and the only way I know how to do it is to put 555 in that bottom box and make it stretch out to the right, and
Mhm.
negative 555 in the top one and make it stretch out to the left. And that's taking too long.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Okay, so I'll make you the co-host right now, and you can share your screen. And what we can do is you can show me your process, and I can help you, like, fix it because there's probably something that you're doing a little different off there.
Okay, because I know what to do, and I'm like, dang, I wrote it down. Like I've been watching you consistently do this, but it's drawing the zones. And like when I sit there and watch you draw them out, you start at the top and you work your way down, and it's just so simple. Like you can see every single last one of them. But
Hmm.
when I'm doing it, it don't work out like that.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll help you with that right now. Let me make you a co-host, and then you should be good. All right, cool. So now you can share your screen. Do you know how to do that on your Zoom?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah, just
perfect.
1 second.
All right.
Okay, let's share this screen right here. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep, we're good to go.
All right, let me see. My internet been acting funky too. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
We've
same
been
here.
had a blizzard going on.
Oh yeah, you guys are like, you're on the East Coast, right?
I'm Midwest.
Oh, like around Texas. Yeah, because I know Texas is going, it's pretty heavy out there. Here on the
Yeah, they cut their water and stuff off
oh
down
yeah,
there.
that's crazy. I know I heard about that. I was like, man, I don't know how they're surviving out there like that. 3 days.
Man, that is whack.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So first off, your screen, do you take off the when once this come up, this gonna be my watch list right here on the right.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
you just take that away so that you can
Yeah, so you have more space. So just click on that top right there where it has that watch list button. You can click on that to it's right on the, it's highlighted in blue. There you go. There you
okay.
go. All right.
All
So
right, so
let's
this was I had marked this up today, this morning,
mhm.
using the I did it on the 4 hour. So when I be doing the pairs, like if I'm just regular trading, I use the zones on the 4 hour to mark it up.
Gosh, okay.
And so, but it don't be clear like yours. Like, look at this. I'm like, man, look at this. This is just too much.
Yeah, it's just kind of messy. So let's do this first. So let's first of all, you can double click on your chart to hide the trend meter on the bottom.
Move it.
Or let's go to, you want to just use a clean chart so you don't, we can open a new chart if you want to, if you want to keep how it is right now, because you don't want to, I know you took some time to draw that up. If I don't know if you want to keep it on there, you can if you want.
Well, I want to do it like, learn how to do it the right way. So I don't mind redoing it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so let's do this first. So let's so double click on the on like anywhere in your chart,
Mm-hmm.
just just anywhere yeah, there you go. And then click on auto on the bottom right.
What is that?
It just it fits everything on your screen. So you have it pretty much makes everything leveled, so everything looks pretty nice and neat.
Oh,
So
I had no idea about that.
yeah, because
So
when you
how often you have to click that?
it just whenever you want to clean it up. So like say for example here, you see where the numbers are on the side where you were doing earlier, we were dragging. So just mess with that a little bit, just like spread it out a bit. So you can see how it's kind of messy right there. If you ever want to fix it, just click on auto and then it fixes it for you.
Got you. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So what we'll do first is let's hide your EMA. So go to your indicator on the side, just you can hide it, yeah. And then hide the pivots and then hide the K2SR, that one, the first one, not the version 2, because we're going to use that. So just the you can leave that one on there and hide the one below it. That one right there.
Okay, that one. Okay.
Yeah. And then let's hide the K2TS as well. So we're just going to take off all the noise off the chart so we know what we're looking at. And then hide the other EMA as well, that white line. The one at the bottom. There we go. All right, perfect. So this is pretty much how we would start off. What I would do is I would pull over to the left side so you can see where the zones start from. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so this right here is the starting of it when you have the line at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where I would draw. So there'd be a top zone and a lower zone to it.
Okay, so this one would go like this.
Exactly. Now, yeah, just draw any square right there, and then I'll show you how to extend it. Now, double click on that rectangle, and then go to style, and then click extend right, extend left.
Oh wow, are you serious?
It was that easy. Yeah, huge difference, right?
Oh my God.
Makes it a whole lot easier.
So do you have to do that every time?
No, once you do it once, you're pretty much good to go. Draw that second one right there, and then you'll see how
Man,
it.
get out of here, Shawn.
There you go.
This right here is
so
like a whole game changer for me. Do you understand?
Yeah, because if you're trying to draw it by hand, man, that's gonna, you got to stretch out the screen and you got to pull it all the way to the end. It makes no sense.
Okay, so oh shoot. All right, so that will be one, and then well, I could do like you do and do the where's it at right here, this thing, and then do this.
There you go.
Man, this okay. So what about right here?
Yeah.
So you
So
see
for
how you got that one, but so do you connect it to this?
exactly, yeah. So I would just I would draw a zone over the biggest one. So you see how that big one is kind of engulfing the middle one and within it. So just draw a big zone covering both of those zones. Like yeah, from up there
So like
down
here.
to down there. There you go.
Okay, and then this one will be here.
Exactly.
Oh man. Do you know how long it took me to go through and put them extend them by typing in.
Oh
I
no,
was
that
doing
that
this
that, that took me
morning.
a while too. When I first when I didn't know about this in the beginning, that's it kind of threw me off as well. So there you go. It's all
You
good.
take
And
that
then
off.
once that's all done, just hide the K2S
Uh-oh.
indicator. Oh yeah, try to delete that one. There you go. And then now you can hide the K2S indicator, and then it's going to smoothen out the chart for you as well. So you can hide that. And there you go. You have your zones on the chart. You're pretty much good to
Oh
go.
my God. Okay, so then you will go through and pop on your pivot.
Exactly.
And so let me make sure I'm getting this right. Okay, so the strategy that you're doing now, the scalping strategy,
Hmm.
you're going to is got to reject off of a zone and a pivot.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. And you just want to make sure that the pivot does not touch the candle. So I mean, it'll be common sense once you see it. Like when you actually see it, you're gonna know if it touches the body or not. So just looking at that right there, if you want to look at that most recent entry, there's actually one right there, that green candle and that red one right next to it.
Right here.
Yeah. So if you zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see.
Okay, so let me ask you this, like, so I zoom in by using this and also I know sometimes like when I'm on the live with you and
Yeah.
I'm looking at your screen, I'll be like, dang, how did you like get yours like that? Whereas you see how mine just look,
Oh yeah, yeah. So click on auto. Are you using a mouse or are you just using like a
a mouse?
laptop? Okay, yeah. So I just scroll in. I use the little scroll button on the mouse, like that little rolling thing, if you have one. uh, and it would zoom in. There you go. So you
Okay.
just, yeah. Because if you keep it on auto, it'll keep all the candles on the chart. So that's why I usually just leave that on, so that whenever you move the chart around, so if you leave that on, then you drag the chart around, you'll see that it follows it. It won't change the candle.
So how do you know that this is on?
When you click on it, it turns blue. So there you go.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes. So if you scroll over to the right or to the left, you'll see that it follows the candles. It'll and you scroll to the other end, it'll keep all the candles on the chart so it's easy to see.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so like here, for instance, are you saying this right here would have been entry?
Yeah. So that green one would have been an entry right there. So you could have entered on the high of that green, like as soon as it closed, you could have entered like right over there. You could have entered a short position and then you would have caught that ride downwards.
Okay, so I'm seeing that I see where it's rejecting off the pivot,
Hmm.
and the pivot is not going through the body of the candle, but so it closed below this zone. So that's what you're saying is considering rejecting off of this zone?
Yeah, exactly. Because if the wick is just like pushing off the zone, that's going to indicate that it's a rejection. It's just pushing off. Uh, the zone rejection is just a secondary confirmation. The main rejection is going to be off the pivot, and then the zone rejection is going to be the secondary confirmation, indicating
Wow,
that
look at
price is going to be pushing down. So you could have
that.
entered a sell entry like right after that green one, and then you would have been good to enter that sell right there.
And so when you and we're using the magic numbers that you've just been coming up with, like for US 30, for instance,
Mhm.
is it 150 or
So for US 30, if you're scalping on the 10-minute, the sweet spot's about 500 pips, which would be 50 points. For something like odd USD, it's gonna be a little different. It's probably gonna be around like 10 to 15 pips, maybe 20 pips, depending on which one you're trading. Because the major pairs sometimes they move fast, sometimes they move slow. So it's just gonna really depend on which specific one you're trading, because each one's gonna be a little different. Like if you're comparing odd USD to US 30, they move completely different, right? Because odd
right,
USD
right.
moves a little slower, while US 30 moves super fast.
Look at that candle.
Yeah, that would have been a nice little win right there. If you took
Yes.
that scalp.
So the same thing apply for US 30, where you would just you marking it on the 10. So when you use the 10 a lot. So you doing all the markings on the 10 minute, and then just look for the rejection.
Exactly. Yeah. So first thing I do is I just mark up the the zones. Once you have the zones up, you're pretty much set. That's all you got to look for, the rejections and whatnot.
That ain't it. Okay, let me see. Can I do this one for an
Yeah,
example
yeah,
so you
yeah.
can
Go ahead.
watch me?
You
All
should
right,
probably,
so let me ask you this.
mhm.
So like here, you know, we on the 10, we can see that this is the end. Do I have to actually go find the end, or if I just see it, I can just draw it right here?
You can do it right there too. It's just the reason why I go to the end is so you guys can see exactly where it starts from. But normally I don't go to the end. I just go to the end just to show you guys, on the live, so that you guys can see where to start from. But in
Gotcha.
reality, you don't have to. If you see it right there, you can just draw it on your own.
Okay. All right, let's see. All right, so here. All right, so this one, because it's red to red, I do that, and then take this one from the green to the green.
Yep, that's right.
Oh shit, Shawn, I'm about to make some money.
I know you got this on lock now. You're gonna be able to catch these trades.
I knew it. I was like, I knew whatever the issue was. I was like, it's something simple with this whole zone thing, and I knew that that's what the problem was. So like with this one right here, I would basically just cover all of this, right?
Yeah, you could do that because I think they overlap. If they ever overlap, you'd be fine to just
Like
put
that.
them together. So click on auto again. So let's see if it's actually overlapping because I think it should be. Yeah, so I mean, there's like a little space, like it's not that big of a space. So technically, you could just connect them together if you really wanted to.
But really though, you would just do like
Yeah,
this and then
and then
what have like this little super thin one, or is this a huge one like from here to here?
that would be it. Yeah, so it'd be the big one right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a little gap in between, but I mean, it would still, it'd be better for you to be more precise rather than guessing.
All right. Okay. So that's done. And like, all right, so now we got that, and then you throw the pivots on. No, not that. Hold on. The K2 pivots, where is that?
Looks like you might have deleted it. It's all right. You can put it back on. And then you can also, it should be that fourth one right there. Fourth one to the top. There we go. And then you can turn off the K2SR so that it's not in the way. Because if you got too many colors on there, it's kind of or on your, yeah, there.
Which one? Oh, just the regular SR,
The,
just take
the
it off.
you take out, yeah, you take that one off, and then you could hide the version 2, just so it's not on your chart, because you have all those green and red lines on there.
Oh, okay, yeah. So after you draw the zones, just pop it off.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh shoot. That's the only thing I hate about using that
Oh, that tool.
tool. Yeah.
Every time you click, it pops up, huh?
Yep. Okay, so now I got that. All right. So now I got my pivots on. So on here, let me see if I can find an entry. You tell me if it's right. So let me see. Rejection off of a pivot and a zone. What about here?
Yep, that's one that I actually spotted too. That's a pretty good one right there. So you can see that it's rejecting off the yellow pivot, and it's also rejecting off the structure, and then it's not touching the body. So you're pretty much good to go with that one.
So when you're saying rejecting off the structure, it gotta be it not like coming. Okay, so like for the sale, it's gotta be coming down from the structure, and for a buy, it would have to be coming up out the structure.
Uh, so just to make it simple, if you're just doing a sell, you want the wick to be above the candle. So for that one right there, you see how the wick is above the candle?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a rejection downwards.
Okay. So you meaning like when so the price went up and it got pushed back down. You
Exactly.
talking about this little rejection right here.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, got you. So like let me see if I can find one for a buy. So like this one right here, it wouldn't work because the pivot is going through the body.
Yeah, so that one wouldn't work because the pivot's going through the body, and also there's no zone rejection.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, so let me see. Let me see if I can find a one for a buy. I just want to make sure that I know, because I don't trade on Fridays, but I'm tearing these markets up next week.
For sure. Yeah, check right there to the go over to the left a bit. I think I see one right over there. A little farther to the left, I think scroll down a little bit. I think one of those right there. See where that go to the right a little bit. So about like 10 candles to the right. There you go. Scroll up a little bit. It should be that red one right there. I think that red one right
Let me see.
so click on yeah, there you go. That one right there.
Right here.
Yeah. See how that red wick is touching the pivot and the structure?
Okay, and the pivot, this green one is coming under it, but it's not really going through the body.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely.
So because the rejection is going to the upside, you would have placed a buy, even though it's
red candle, yeah. So
right.
exactly, like right once that red candle closed, you can see it. Like that's why we call it a snipe entry, because you can see that there's like no drawdown. Like right after you enter that red candle, it goes straight up.
Yep, it sure would have. OMG.
And then there's another one right there too. So if you catch that red one, you would have hit full TP on that, and then you go over to the right a little farther. There's a green one right there. Right to your left, right there, another full TP, another red one
right here.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, because it would have been, I see the rejection off the pivot. It ain't going through the body, and it's rejection from the structure.
Exactly. So that would be a full TP right there as well.
Okay.
And there's one right next to it too, that red one.
Right here.
There you go, yeah. So there's a whole bunch right there. You could have locked in all those like once.
So that's what my next question was gonna be. So like when you catch one of these, right? And if you sitting here watching it, you can scale in by, if the next candle do the same, you can get another entry.
Exactly. So that would be called stacking. So you could stack those, but I don't really recommend people stacking unless you like really know what you're doing, because it can end badly if you have too many positions open. Generally, what I would recommend is just wait for the first one to close out. Because like, for example, go to that first one right there on the left. So see how that first red one we looked at?
Let me see.
A little bit to the right of it, right there. So that one would have hit full TP. So the next one right there, you can see that there's a little gap. That would have hit TP before we got to the next trade over there, the green one.
Okay, just in case they turn around, so you won't end up like dealing with the whole over leverage thing because you got too many positions.
Exactly. Like if you go into the trade and you already know you're going to stack them, just use a smaller lot size, because that's one way to do it. You know, you're basically just splitting up that risk into multiple positions. But you know, if that's the case where you already know you're gonna stack, then you can just use like a half lot size. You can take 2 stacks at a time, or you can use like a third of a lot size for you to use like 3 stacks at a time. It really depends on your risk tolerance, or how much you feel like risking that day.
Okay. All right. Well, out of like when I had first got K2, the first time I had went through like using all the different strategies, but I think I really want to do this one that you've been focused on.
Yeah, this one's been really good. Like the other ones still work and they're good. The only problem with the other ones is that they take a lot of time. You have to have a lot of patience for those. For these, you could kind of just hop on, and if you see something, you can just take it right away. And
yeah, you gotta like wait. You won't be able to take as many trades because you gotta wait for the setup. Basically, is that what you're saying? With the other, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And for this, you can use this on anything. Like I've seen people use it on Bitcoin. I've seen people use it on S&P. I've seen people use it on UK 100. Like sky's the limit for this strategy, really. Because the thing with scalping is that it's it applies to everything. As long as the market's moving, you can use it for pretty much anything that you really want to trade it on.
Okay, so my next question is, so I know that the not SPX, the US 30 open is at 9:30. So and that's taking the first signal from using the K2TS, right?
Oh yeah, daily entry.
And so that's the daily entry. So what time is the UK open?
A UK open would be midnight Pacific Standard Time. So are you on Eastern Time or are you Central?
I'm on Eastern.
Okay, so Eastern Time, that'd be 3 a.m. your time.
Okay, so I would get up and cut on the this right here.
Mhm.
And so it's at 3 p.m. I'm sorry, 3 a.m. my time, which is 12 p.m. your time.
Exactly. Oh, 12 a.m. my time. Yeah.
Okay, 12 a.m. All right. And so then at 3 o'clock my time, you just take the first signal you see.
So I haven't used it for US 30, but from what other people have been using,
Well,
because
no, not US 30. I'm talking about the UK
oh
100.
yeah, UK 100. Yeah, so that's correct. Yeah, it would be the first signal, and you would include the opening candle too. So that one's included into it.
What you mean include the opening candle?
So you know when you do our US 30, we don't take the first candle. So if the signal comes at 9:30 your time, we skip that one and we take the next one following it. But for UK 100, the market moves a little different because the market's kind of open already during that time. So for that, you can take the actual open. So you can take the one that happens at 3 a.m.
Oh, okay. And then so let me ask you this. So like let's just go to UK 100. And so when we do that, we would do like here. Let's say that it's 3 a.m. right now, and this signal just came out. So is it a sweet number for UK 100, or do we just do the regular whatever the 1-to-1 is?
I think it was 250. I can't remember what the exact number was, but I'm assuming it's 250. Let me check because the problem with that strategy is that the other group that took over that strategy, they kind of changed it up a lot. So I'm not really sure what we agreed on at the beginning, but
Uh-huh.
I think it's 250. 250 seems like a sweet spot. I'm not 100% sure, but I think
Okay.
it's 250. So let's check the last entry. Let's see if we could find it there. Maybe we could see if that played out
Okay.
for
So
you.
that would have been, let me see, 12, 1, 2.
So I think it's 3 a.m. your time, right? So you just scroll over to 3, and it would be,
Is this 3 a.m. right here?
I believe so. I don't think that hit GP
Oh
though.
no, this would have been 3 this afternoon, right?
Um,
Yeah,
I'm not sure because yeah, maybe because
because
you
we
got
on the 10 minute. So if this is 20 now,
oh
this
no,
would
no,
have
yeah,
been,
that's right. That's 3 a.m. because 20 would if it's military time, then when it goes past 12, that'd be afternoon. But if it's
can you change that?
I don't think you can. I've been trying to fix that too because I don't like military time. I try
Me
to change
either.
it. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. I don't think there's an option for it, unfortunately. I try to look for it, but I haven't found it. I don't know if it's new because I know they're updating TradingView like almost every day. So it might be something that's coming in, but I haven't seen it on my end.
Okay, so let me try to figure out where it's at. Let's see. Let me take this off. All right, so let's see.
I would be careful with UK 100 though because I think this whole year it hasn't been really like since the new year started it hasn't really been moving too smooth. So I probably wouldn't even take those trades, but you can check it to see if it hits. I personally don't take them, so I can't really tell you if it's working well or
Okay,
not.
so you only doing the US 30 opens in the morning. Are you not doing the US 30 opens in the London session? I know y'all used to talk about it. Are y'all still doing
Yeah.
that?
There's other people that post it. There's a couple other admins that post UK 100 trade, but they made a couple changes to it. So I don't know exactly what they've changed to it. I think the main thing was that they changed the TP stop loss. So instead of using a 1-to-1, they use like a 1-to-3. But a lot of people don't like it because it like sometimes people get stopped out too early
Hmm.
and then they end up missing the trade. So
Okay.
um, yeah, I really don't trade the UK 100, so I don't really know. But I know some people trade US 30 at min. I don't know if you want to try that, if you want to look at the entries off there, because
Okay.
that's been working as well.
So US 30 is been hitting with the London Open.
Yeah, for some people I've been applying it. So let's go back to like 3 o'clock. I think it's been moving the same though. So I don't think this one hit, but I think you can go to the one previous to that. That one might have hit. Let's see. So let's try to
Let's
scroll
see.
over
Hold
to
on. Let me determine where the time is from this hour chart. Let's do that.
gotcha.
Okay, so let me see. 12.
Yeah, so since it's military time, when it goes past 12, that'd be afternoon. If it's before 12, that'd be morning for you.
Okay, so we got to go back here. So US 30 open would have been, are we looking at open or are we looking at London? Which one we doing?
It's up to you, whichever one you want to look at. We can look at either one or both if you want to. It's really up
Okay,
to you.
let me take this off. All right, so before 12 is morning. All right, so it would have been up in here somewhere for the open in the morning.
Yeah, so you could probably turn off the pivots and then just turn on the other indicator, so that'll it'll clean it up. There we go. And what you can do too is click the settings for the K2TS. We could take off the those little moving averages that are on it. So right next to it, there you go, settings, and then go to inputs, and then uncheck show MA curves. So let's clean it up for you. There you go. So you don't have all.
What did that take off? Oh, it took them numbers off over there.
You see how like in the middle of the candles, it has those lines in between them. So if you like zoom into your chart a little bit, so you don't have them now, but if you turn it back on, you'll see that there were like some little lines in between the candles. So you see right there how there's like those red and green lines in the middle.
I think so, right here. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
And
okay,
and I just take them off because I like a clean chart. You can keep them on if you want them, but unless you're using them, there's like no point of you really having them on.
Do I need to change anything else in anything else with K2?
No, I think you're good. We pretty much just use the default settings, so you should be good to go.
Okay. All right, so let's see, morning would have been here. Let's go ahead and pop this on. Well, it's already on. So our open for 9:30 would have been if this the time, okay, so this saying 8. Why is this up here saying like 15, 19?
Oh, let's go to the 10 minutes. Yeah, I think you're on the hour, so it's spread out. So yeah, so it's a little easier to see on there. So let's close your watch list right there on the right hand side, so we can have the full chart, and then it'll be easier for us to see everything.
Okay. What happened? Okay.
Andrew,
Can you hear me? Shawn. Shawn, can you hear me? Shawn, can you hear me? Where's the chat at? I think he got kicked off the internet. Shawn, you on? Oh, nope, I'm the only person on.
Andrew, are you there?
Yep, you got kicked off.
Yeah, I think we got disconnected, so I think we're good to go now.
Okay. All right, so this US 30 10 minute. Let's see. We want to look at one of the opens. 12.
I think it'll be at 3 a.m. your time, right? So, or what you do want to look at the U.S. Open, because the U.S. Open would be 9:30 your time, and
well, I know how the U.S. I'm familiar with the U.S. Open, so you take that at 9:30, but you don't take the first one. You got to take the second one after 9:30. So it's anything that print after 9:40, right?
Exactly, yeah. So 9:40 and on would be good for the London one. I think
Okay.
you can take anyone like as soon as the market opens.
Okay, so London at 3 o'clock on US 30, you could take the first signal that pop up on
I
the
believe
10
so.
minute.
Yeah. I haven't really used it myself, so I can't really say how accurate it is, but it's something that other people have been using, so it's been working for them.
Okay, and then on the, let's see, 250 is the UK 100 and US 30. When we do that, when we take the signal for the open, is that where we're just using the 1-to-1 ratio? Depending on if we're going long or short, or
Exactly. Yeah.
is it a certain number?
It'd be the same 1-to-1 for about 1,500 pips. Um, and then, if it goes into the US session, you probably would want to like move your stop loss and profit, because you usually sometimes it'll go the same direction or sometimes it'll do the opposite. So that's where it becomes risky when you hold a position into another session. Kind of similar to when we take the US session, we try to exit before the market swap happens, because when it goes into Asia session, it generally tends to reverse on you.
Okay. Okay. All right, so now that I know how to draw these zones correctly and I know what I'm looking for, see, I couldn't even like go over no trades. Like I did lose a lot when I had first started, but I knew it's because I wasn't drawing those zones right. So now that I know how to draw the zones right, you know, if I have any questions after that, I can at least, refer to a trade and know that, hey, I know the zones was drawn right and I took it because of this. So can you tell me why? I can't do that now because I know what I was doing wrong in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. And you spotted a couple of trades on there too. So you're able to spot them. Like I saw that you were able to look at them, just by looking at the pivot. So you should be pretty good to go.
Okay.
But if there is, if you ever run into a trade that does lose, you can always just run it by me. Just give me like the timestamp and I can pull it up to see what went wrong. One thing that you need to keep in mind is to avoid the snipe moves when the market is when it's kind of choppy, like when it's not moving smoothly. And I can show you how to identify that. So let's go
Yeah,
ahead
can
and
you do that?
yeah, let's go ahead and turn off your K2TS indicator. We'll just clean it up a little bit, and then we'll
Okay.
turn on the K2 pivots. And then let's hit the auto button again so we can zoom out from the chart. And this is one way that I've been showing other people. So let's hide all your indicators on the side. So just go like under the pivots where it has that drop down. There we go. Yeah, and then let's go to see where it says Wanda on the top. Oh, and one thing too, I wouldn't use a Wanda data. I would use currency.com data. That's what we all use.
Okay, so look, so I got that. That's something else I wanted to ask you. So I got the K2 watch list, right? And
Mhm.
that's where I'm pulling this stuff from. Like, did I just add this over here or something? Or do I need to import my K2 watch list again?
You can just change it. So like this is what we could do. You could go ahead and close the so go to that US 30 tab on the side and
Uh-huh.
then just click the X button to take it off. Then go on the plus button on top
Uh-huh.
and then type in US 30.
So we need to use
Currency.com data. Yeah, because currency.com data, like from what I've used so far, I found that to have the most accurate data. Because the problem with US 30 and Owanda data is that they're going to have different zones. So if you're drawing zones on Owanda, it might be different for what it looks like on currency.com. So now when you click on that, it's going to be a brand new chart.
okay,
So
so do all of these should be currency.com?
if currency.com is available, then yeah, it'd be currency.com. The next one would be forex.com. So for S&P, let's click on the top again, that plus button. Let's see if they have a different one. I'm not sure what's on mine. Let me check my S&P actually. It might be a Wanda. Let me just check mine.
So I wonder, do I need to just re-import my whole list? Because like the watch list that you import from K2 is going to be all currency, or it's gonna all be currency.com, right?
Not all of them, because there's only some of them that have currency.com. So I just pulled up S&P on mine. Mine's actually Owanda because they don't have the other data for it. So yours is fine for your S&P. The only difference is, let me check. I think everything else is, so the only difference is the DAX 30. I don't know if you trade that, but if you trade the DAX 30, I use forex.com data.
DAX 30.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you trade that. It's the DAX 30 is kind of similar to to US 30, but it's the one in Europe. It's the German DAX 30. But
Where
if you look,
which one of these would it be? Or did I type it in wrong?
pull up yours real quick. Type in just type in DAX.
DAX?
Yeah, let's say delete that. Okay, so let's go to so it'd be
Here
that right
goes
there. DAX. There we go.
currency.com right here.
There we go. Yeah.
And what is the DAX 30?
It's pretty much like US 30, but it's equivalent in Europe. So you know how like in the US 30 we have our top US 30 stocks, and the DAX
It's the
30 is
top
like
30 for Europe.
exactly the top 30 German stocks. Same thing.
Is it an open time for it?
It's the same thing. So if you wanted to trade the London Open, I would do the DAX 30 instead of US 30.
And do you use the same rules that we use for the US 30, or you take the first signal?
You could take the first signal. So you could take the one off midnight. The only difference is the TP stop loss. So I'm not sure what the TP stop loss is since I don't trade that, the opening candle. I know there's some people in the group that do it, but like I personally don't know exactly what the sweet spot would be. So I don't know if you want to play around with that, or if you just want to stick to US 30 since that's
I think I'm just gonna stick to US 30, and then this same strategy worked for like German 30 and everything.
Exactly. If you want to use a snipe strategy, it works for everything. If you want to use it for Bitcoin, if you want to use it for XRP, it doesn't really matter. You can use it for anything because it's just based off momentum. So if you have like the market's moving and there's some volatility there, then it'll work for anything that you want to trade.
Okay. Should I go through here and like click on every single last one of these and make sure that they are currency?
So for the Forex pairs, it would be forex.com because currency.com is just for some of the indices. But I think your currency pair should be fine. They should all be forex.com because that's what was set on the watch list.
Okay, so Forex I'm taking some notes here. Hold on. Forex.com for the pairs, well, for the currency, and then what you said for US 30?
Oh, currency.com. Yeah. And for the indices, the order that they go in from accuracy would be currency.com. That'd be number one. The second one would be forex.com if it's available. And then if none of those are available, just use Awanda because that's like your only best option.
Okay. All right, cool. I can't think of nothing else. Like that was really my main thing was getting the zones right.
Yeah, and you pretty much got it locked down now, so you're pretty much set, ready to go.
So if I wanted to, if I wanted to do like some, not some scalps, but like some, what you call it when you're in the trade longer?
Intraday?
Yeah, I would just go to the 4 hour and draw my zones, right?
Exactly. You go to the 4 hour and draw your zones. And then depending on which strategy you're applying, I mean, obviously there's going to be different requirements, but I've seen some people use a snipe strategy for the 4 hour. They actually, the snipe strategy, people have been using it for all the time frames. Some people use it on the 15, some people use it on the 30, some people use it on the 1 hour, some people use it on the 4 hour. And then actually today during the morning session, someone asked me to look at it on the daily, and it actually works on the daily too. So
what's the difference though? Like when you take the trade, like how long are you in there longer because you're doing it on a higher time frame?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the main difference. The main difference is that you're just going for a bigger target because the candles move a lot farther on the higher time frame. So if you were to do that, like for example, on the 10-minute, we're only going for like 500 pips on US 30. If you're going to trade it on like the 30-minute, you're going to have to increase that because the 30-minute moves a lot faster than the 10-minute. It's like ×3 as fast.
Okay. And so like if you did it on a daily, it would be a bigger, you would just catch more pips because it'll be a bigger
move. Yeah.
Move. Okay. But how do you determine though? Or do you just do the 1-to-1 or?
So basically the way that I would do it is, say if I was going to take an entry, I would put the stop loss like either in the middle of the pivots or somewhere below it or above it, depending on which direction you're trading. So like, so we'll just use this for an example. So just like put a sell entry like anywhere where you see a pivot rejection. It's not going to be a real entry. We're just going to use this for an example. So I can show you.
Let me see. Let me find one.
Yeah, just look for like any rejection off the pivot, and then I'll show you like where I measure it usually.
Okay, right here.
Yeah. So basically you can drag that stop loss. And so basically I would either put it in the middle of the pivot. So if you pull it down a little bit, you can see that it kind of goes down to like the 50 mark, right? So if you go down to the 50, you'll see it's like right in the middle. So so you could put it somewhere around there if you want to, if you want to move
Or
it
you mean bring it into the middle of
the pivot. So probably around the orange pivot. So pull it up a little bit. I think you're kind of far off. Yeah. So a little bit higher. Yeah, a little bit higher from where it's at. I think that's a little too close. So like somewhere around there. So so you can see like where it's at the middle of the pivot. So that would be like maybe the sweet spot. If you want a little more cushion, you can pull it up a little higher. So above the red one.
Okay. Now, I don't think I'm following you when you say in the middle of the pivot. You mean in the middle, but talk about middle from the width of these pivots. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's generally where I would put the stop loss. But it just varies from pair to pair because some pairs move really fast while some pairs move really slow. So in some instances, it just might be too tight, right? It just really depends on what you're trading. Because like I know US 30 because I trade that every day and I know exactly how it moves. But if you were to ask me like, what's the sweet spot for Bitcoin? Like I'd have no idea because I don't trade it.
Okay. And then that's what I need to write down. Sweet spot for US 30 is 1500, you said?
For the 10-minute, for scalping, it would be 500 pips.
Oh, okay.
For the daily entry, it'd be 1500, but that's only because we're holding that trade for the entire day. It's a little different from the scalps because for the scalps, we're just trying to lock in these quick wins and then stack them up because then it provides for like less risk because you could take more trades. And so like 3 scalps would be equivalent to 1 daily trade, right?
Right. Okay. So the daily, every daily open is 1500.
That's correct.
Oh wow. I don't know why I thought we was doing something else. I hadn't took the daily open in so long.
Yeah, we've been. I still call it every once in a while, but just the market since January has just been different. It hasn't been moving as much as it normally does. Like sometimes it'll either move too fast, it'll move too much, or it'll move too little. It hasn't had like a normal movement in a while. It's just been a little different.
Haven't been like stable.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've been just more focused on the scalps, and then we still call the daily, but usually we'll just try to scalp within that move because then you can make more profit that way.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you got a lot of my questions answered. And I can just see from that AU chart that we marked up that it's going to make a huge difference now that I know how to do these zones. Because, man, I was struggling. You seen that chart I pulled up when I first got over here.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, those zones make a big difference because you're able to like you can kind of see the storyline. Like if you just zoom out from that point, you can see exactly how it's been moving and you can see where the rejection points are. So it makes a huge difference for you.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I can see myself already making some money next week. I'm not even worried about it. What I'll probably do is do like some back testing this weekend and just kind of go through and see where I see the entry and place I call it fake trading, where you place the long or short and then just watch it play out. Like how you be doing when you see the move and you say, let's go back and back test this, and you do the rewind.
Exactly.
Cut it off.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll probably do that this weekend.
Yeah. And one thing to look out for, like you can see right there in the middle of the chart where it's kind of messy. You see where it's kind of crossing over a lot. I just want to make sure that you realize this right here. Like right to the left right there, you can kind of see where the candles are kind of jumbled up. Right there's like a smooth,
here.
So like right there to the left, you can see it's a smooth move up, right? So you'll take like buy scalps right there. But then once it gets choppy, like right to the right of it, see where it's not really moving too smooth? Right there, like right down that area. So if that
consolidation.
Yeah, it's consolidation. When it's consolidating like that, I wouldn't take any scalps. You want to make sure to take scalps when prices actually move in directional. So you don't get caught in any like fake outs because you see all those wicks right there. It kind of spikes up and down. If you were to get caught in those little traps, you get stopped out immediately before you even like get to catch any moves.
Well, how would you know that you wouldn't know that you was about to get caught up in this until it actually played out to where you could see that it's I see what you're saying. Are you saying like right here where it's in between these two zones? Is that what you're
Exactly.
saying?
Yes. So one thing that I would do is if you want to delete your zones or just hide them, so you can hide your zones real quick.
How
Just
you do
click
that?
on the left hand side. It's right under that lock. See where that lock is right there, right below it, right there. There you
Oh
go.
my God.
So
You
what
done
I
taught
would
me
do,
something.
yeah. So what I would do is click on the auto button right there on the right bottom right again,
Mm-hmm.
and then go to where it says forex.com. You can actually hide the candles. So go up to where it says Australian dollar and then forex.com on the top left. There we
Mm-hmm.
go. And then click on that eye that's right next, right there. And then you can see right there, see where it gets kind of choppy because you can see how the pivots move and they're pretty smooth. And then right below it, when it crosses over that orange one, like yeah, right exactly right there, that's where you'll know it's consolidating because it's not moving smoothly.
Right
Yeah.
here, up in here, this what you're talking about?
Like right to the left of it where that green crosses the orange. See where the so if you
Green crosses the right here.
Yeah, right there. So when you see that happening, that's when you'll know that market's going into consolidation. So it's fine when the green and yellow cross each other, but when they start to cross the orange and the red, that's when you
Oh,
should
let me
like
write that down. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so the yellow, the green and the yellow can cross.
yeah, those are level 1, level 2. So those are weak pivots. Those are completely fine. The strong pivots are the orange and the red. That's when you start to see that price is starting to consolidate a bit. So if that starts to cross over, that's where you kind of want to be careful.
Okay, so orange and red is level 2 or right.
Uh,
And
green, uh,
so
green is level 1, yellow is level 2, orange is level 3, and red is level 4. So the green and yellow level 1, level 2 are like weak pivots. Those are fine if those cross over because price bounces back and forth so often. But once it reaches the orange one, that's where it starts to get risky because that's an actual strong pivot.
okay, so it's like the red, green and the yellow ride together, and the red and the orange. But if the green and the yellow cross over, the orange or the red is consolidation.
Exactly, because if you turn the candles back on, you can see that price starts to consolidate once it reaches that point right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So like over here, let's see, green.
And then it crosses down there. That's where you'd probably avoid it for a
With
second.
this right here, you would avoid this.
Yeah, I would avoid it until it drops. And then after it drops, then you can take some more down there. And then you can see when
Okay.
it crosses back up, consolidates a little bit right there. And then you can take more from there as well.
Okay.
So it makes a huge difference because you can, for a lot of people, it's hard for them to see when price is, being choppy or not, because it's kind of hard to see when you just look at the candles because there's a lot of noise going on. Like you'll see the candles wick up and down and you don't know where to look.
Mhm.
But if you take out all that noise and you just look at the pivots, it makes a huge difference.
So like even right now, like with this AU, we don't got the candles on. We looking at it like right now, it's just too close. We would just be waiting.
Exactly. Just wait for it to spread out like it does, and it starts going
Uh-huh.
directional, and then you can start taking trades.
Okay, so not a bad idea to pop them candles off and just look at this before you get started.
Exactly. Yeah. This could probably be your first step. Your first step is to see if the market's actually trending. If it's actually
Right.
moving, then you're like, all right, I could take some scalps here. But if it's not, then you're probably like, it's a little risky, so I'm probably gonna hold off for a bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's gonna make a big difference too.
Yeah, because then and if you do this, you'll be a lot more careful and you'll only be looking for, quality scalps. Because in reality,
Right.
you only need like a few scalps a day. Like you have like, 1 to 3 scalps a day, you're fine because you lock in a couple $100 per scalp and you're pretty much good to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So tomorrow, you're just gonna be doing an overview.
Yeah, so I'm probably not going to trade. I don't like to trade on Fridays. Like last week, I fell into that trap where I took some trades and I had to loss and I had to win and it was like back and forth. And I'm just not trying to get into that again. So I'm probably just gonna I'll go live and I'll talk to everyone and I'll answer questions, but I'm probably not going to trade myself.
Yeah, I haven't traded on Fridays in a long time. What about Monday? How you feel about Mondays?
Monday's fine. So Sunday would be a little iffy because the market isn't fully open yet. But once New York session opens on Monday, it should be all right. It'll still be a little choppy, but it should start to smoothen out as the day progresses.
Okay. And one more question. You just made me think of something. So one day, when the markets opened on a Sunday, I seen somebody had put in the chat about the Sunday fun day
Oh
entry.
yeah, yeah. So that's one that one of the members created. Josh, one of the K2 members. He when the market opens on Sunday, he takes the first basically the first signal. So whenever the market, like right after the market opens, the first signal that's available, he takes that entry and then he takes it for 1,500 pips, and it's been pretty accurate. He's been hitting it, pretty often. So if that's something you want to look at, that's something that you can play with as well.
Okay, and so that soon as market open, first signal on US 30, 1,500.
Exactly. Yeah. On the 10-minute, and you should be good.
Okay. All right, because I seen that and I was like, what is that? I had no clue what it was.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's not something that I really covered yet because I haven't practiced yet, and I haven't back tested it. So once I back tested enough and I get the real numbers on it, then I'll probably share with you guys. But I think right now I'm probably just gonna hold off on that. Meanwhile,
Okay.
until I feel comfortable with it.
Okay. All right. Well, I really appreciate you taking this time out to just help bring some clarity to me with this because I want to keep it this time. Last time, the reason why I didn't is because I didn't know what I was doing with it. And I should have just got on some more sessions, Then I kind of like got away from trading for a little bit. But I had came back and I was just watching. I didn't have K2, but I was trading with you in the morning on YouTube.
Hmm.
And then after I seen that new sniper strategy, I'm like, wait a minute now, I need to get this again.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I got it and just been, not really playing around with it. I've been trading with it, but I had like a huge loss when I first got started, like that first week. And so then I came back from that. And so then I was just like, I knew the problem was them zones.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So if you ever have any other questions, always feel free to reach out because I can sit down at the session for you if there's something that you're confused about. And, like this session right here pretty much cleared up everything that you were confused about.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. So I really appreciate that. I can't wait to get in these markets next week.
Oh yeah,
Knowing what
definitely.
I know
I think
now.
you're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun with the strategy because everyone's been killing it. I'm sure you've seen everyone's profits. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
nonstop every day. Like there's someone that's killing it no matter what.
Well, I got one more question. So the FTMO. So is that I need to look into it? I need to just go to their site. It's like a challenge. So you got to pay to be in the challenge. They give you a fake demo account. And if you do everything like hit all the requirements, they'll actually give you an account.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, you'll pay the challenge fee for you to take the challenge. Depending on what account size you want, there's various account sizes. There's a 10K, there's a 25K, 50K, and 100K. And obviously, the challenge fee is going to differ depending on your on the account size that you're trying to do. So depending on which one you want to do, you just pay for that challenge fee. They give you a profit target to reach, which is about 10%. And then you have a max loss as well, obviously, because basically this challenge is just proving that you know how to trade and that you're responsible. It's showing
Right.
that you're not just you don't just get lucky off one trade. Like you actually can trade profitably and consistently because they're not going to give you like a 100K account and you just got lucky on the first two trades and then all of a sudden they give you the real account and you blow it, right? So basically they'll give you a challenge where you have to hit 10% profit. Once you do that, they'll give you a verification because they want to make sure that you're legit, like you actually know what you're doing. And then on the second one, you just got to make 5% of profit. It's really not that hard, especially if you're doing these scalps, because you just need to have a couple scalps. Like if you're doing 1% per trade and you have 10 scalp wins, you pretty much pass the challenge right there. And then for the verification, if you're doing 1% as well, you only need about 5 wins, and you're pretty much done at that point. Once you're done with the verification and you're funded, they'll give you the real account. And then after that first month, as long as you close that funded account in positive, they'll refund you your challenge fee. So you don't have any risk. It's like you didn't even put any money down at all. Because they refund you that. Like you'll have the option to get refunded for your challenge fee, or you can get a second account. So it's just up to you what you want to do. Most people get a second account because then you could double up your profits from there.
Right.
And then, yeah, from that point, once you're funded, you get to keep 70% of the profits every month, basically.
Oh wow.
And it's a pretty nice split, especially if you're like me and you like to trade US 30. US 30 is an expensive pair to trade. So for me, that's why like when I trade, I don't really care. I'll take the trades if I see these scalps, and I'm not going to be scared because it's not my money. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. It doesn't really matter to me because if that's the case, then, I just collect profits every month just from, taking these trades as if I don't really have a care. Because, when you're trading your own money, that emotions hit you when you hit those
Yeah.
losses. But if you're trading if you're trading someone else's account, those emotions aren't really going to hit you because you're like, okay, well, whatever, I'll try that next one,
Right. Now, I noticed that when you be putting the parameters in there, sometimes you will put the parameters to be different for your FTMO account.
Yeah, so for FTMO, I don't know what's the deal with this. Like when they first came out with the new accounts, it was spot on. It was just the same price. There was nothing wrong with it. And then the market started getting a little crazy in January, and then the price just differed by a little bit. It's only by 10 pips, but I still put two different numbers because people still they put the wrong numbers in. So that's why I just put the numbers in for confirmation that it's only off by like a few pips, but in reality, it's not that much. 10 pips isn't going to make or break your trade.
Right.
But yeah, that's the main thing. The main thing is just 10 pips, but it's easy because, like, for example, if you're taking a trade that's like the price is like 31,100, you just subtract 10 from that. It ends up becoming 31,090 instead of 31,100.
Okay, so I think I'm probably going to tap into that probably like in a couple of weeks after I get some experience with using this K² sniper strategy, with drawing the correct zones and stuff, of course. And so I'll probably wait a little bit before I actually start that. But this is my last question for you. So I know for a fact that I'm supposed to be a broker in this lifetime. Um, I did this. I met this astrologer guy, right? And I did this thing. They call it like a past life regression. And so I was able to see like my purpose in life. And Shawn, it was so clear as day. Like I was in the middle of the stock market.
Oh, no
And
way.
I promise you, like I'm supposed to be a broker, but I have no clue. Like, so I knew I was on the right path when I seen this because I'm like, okay, I'm already a Forex trader, but obviously I'm supposed to be trading on a whole nother level. So like, how do you go about, like, what's the steps to, would this FTMO challenge be like the next thing to do?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily be a broker, but you'd be more so on like a fund manager, basically. So like a hedge fund. You're basically trading money that's not yours. You're trading money for a company. For example, they give you a 100K account. You're basically managing their funds. So that'd be considered like a fund manager or a hedge fund, manager or something like that. A broker is someone that creates the market. So a broker is basically someone that well, like for right here, we're on Forex.com, right? Forex.com, they give you the data for the pricing and stuff like that. You execute trades through the broker. That's what a broker is. A broker is basically the middleman between the trader and the market. Because the
So
trader, oh, go ahead.
what do you call the people that's like, okay, so like how you see on TV and you see the people in the stock market, like
Yeah.
they in the stock market on Wall Street. What are they called?
So those are runners. So they work for the brokers. Basically, what they do there, well, the market doesn't really work like that anymore. I mean, it used to be like that in the 90s when, there was no internet, because now, like, the internet's way faster than a person running down the hallway trying to get prices.
Right.
So, like back in the day, those are runners. They would just stand they would stand on the floor, and then they would, they have the big screens right there to show them, what's the price for the AUD, what's the price for the USD, what's the price for US 30. And then what they would do is they would run price back to the broker. So the broker, like whenever someone wanted to put a trade in, they would call the broker and be like, hey, I want to buy, US 30. And then the broker is like, calls the runner. The runner is like, he's like, runner, what's the price for US 30 right now? And then that's how they executed trades. But now it's all digital, So those people aren't really they're not really there for that same reason. They're more there just to connect with other brokers, right? Because they're all talking there, so they know what's moving and what's not moving. So those are just runners. They're just basically pulling information from the other brokers there, so that the brokers can make moves for their clients or whatever.
Okay, so maybe it's not a broker, maybe it's more of like a hedge fund manager. I just know I see myself like in the midst of all of that.
Exactly. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. So, I mean, they're one of the same, but it's just a little different because the broker is more of what they're doing is they're just executing trades. Like they're basically like like a department store, right? So if you're going to like Walmart and you want to buy like, some toothpaste or something, the Walmart's buying the toothpaste from Colgate and then they're selling it to you. So
Right.
so like that's like the explanation for it. But like
Okay.
yeah, but brokers nowadays, it's just everything's digital now. Those people on the floor, they're not really there to execute trades. They're just there to pull information.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, that brought a lot of clarity to that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's all of my questions, and I'm getting ready to mark up charts for. Well, I'm not trading tomorrow. I want to be tempted to trade in the morning.
Yeah, just I would just back test and practice. Just practice drawing the zones because once you draw these zones like enough times, it's going to be like second nature for you. Like for me, I could draw zones within a couple seconds,
Right.
and you can do the same thing. It's just all about repetition and practice. Like the more you do it, the easier it'll get.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what I'll do. Just work on that, and then do the back testing this weekend. So I'm excited about next week.
I am too. I'm excited for you. I want to see what your profits look like next week.
Yes, I will be dropping them in the. That's why you hadn't seen me drop nothing in there yet.
Yeah, I was like, it's been a while. You were sending some profits like way back, and then it kind of just tapered off for a bit.
Yeah, I will start shooting them in there next week though. I'll jump on. I'm probably gonna trade with you guys next week in the mornings too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we'll kick it off. We'll probably kick it off Sunday night. We'll take some scalps, if we see anything. If not, we'll definitely be back into full steam on Monday once the market fully opens.
When you say Sunday night, do you mean for London, or are you talking about like a little bit after the market open and kind of settle down?
Exactly. Yeah. So a little bit after the market opens. So the market probably like maybe 5 or 6 hours after the market opens. We'll see if we see anything. We're probably not going to take anything too crazy, but if we do see something, we might take something. But we're going to be very careful because obviously the market was kind of crazy
Okay.
on open.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I'll be looking out for that, and I'll join you guys. And if I don't, then I'll see you Monday morning.
Definitely. Yeah. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you next week.
Okay. Oh yeah, you doing a market review tomorrow. I'll be on in the morning.
Yeah, so I'll be around for a bit. I'll just be around answering some questions, what's going on. And other
Mhm.
than that, we'll probably call it a week.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Shawn. I
Definitely.
appreciate it. This was very informative, and I can't wait to put these skills to test next week.
Definitely. I'm excited for you too.
All right.
All right, definitely. So I'll talk to you later. Do you have any other questions?
Nope, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, if anything, let me get in there and use what I done learned with drawing the right zones and stuff, because I already knew that was my problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like just practice. And if you run into any more issues, just, send over a question. And if you need like more help, we can hop on for another session next week if that's the case.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. I really appreciate